Hey guys, it's your girl Sylvie, and it is another Friday. It's another Friday where I bring you awesome scholarship grantees to share with you their journey on how they were able to get their scholarships. So you know the drill. Sit back, relax, pick up a pen, pick up a paper, jot down their ideas on how they were able to get their scholarships, get inspired, and you go get yourself your own scholarship. So, welcome, Olia.
Hey.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, thanks for having me. So my name is Olia. I'm from Russia, originally from St. Petersburg. Yeah, so I study in scuba. I started my master's degree this April, and I'm majoring in linguistics. And I'm here for the MEXT Scholarship.
And is this your first year at the university?
Yeah, I came here as a research student. So I've been a research student for 1 year, starting last spring. So I actually took exam this January, and I officially enrolled this April.
Okay.
So it's my second year, but officially I'm enrolled since April.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So there are so many students out there who try to get scholarships, just as you said, you're a scholarship student. So what can you advise students who actually are trying to apply for this scholarship that you got? You have gone through it, so you understand the process. What can you advise them to do when they're applying for scholarships?
Yeah, sure. So first, I would advise to decide whether you want to study in English or Japanese, because that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So for me, because actually my major back home was Japanese, so I went for the Japanese program, and it's really important because like everything that the documents that you apply with, everything changes depending on what language you're going to use. So I can actually, I guess, talk more about the Japanese part of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So pretty much first you decide that. And then you have to, the first step is like you have to look for academic advisor, that's really important, and also you have to decide on the topic.
Yes.
Yeah, so what else can I advise on? Yeah, it's always good also because, for example, you know that you're going whether like for master's or for PhD, it's always because for the program that I'm in, for this kind of scholarship, you pick 3 universities that you want to go to.
Yeah.
And so I suggest going to the website for each of the universities that you picked and actually check are the programs available,
Yeah.
and is the academic advisor that you've chosen actually in this program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
the,
that's the first step.
the academic advisors, are they pretty responsive? Is it a hassle to get?
Yeah, it really depends. So actually I think, so I also majored in 3 universities, but I think I sent at least emails to 10 professors.
Yes.
Yeah, so most of them do reply, but you should always check the website. Sometimes it says like no direct, like you cannot contact the person directly.
Yeah.
So usually there can be an email of some kind of coordinator or like
Yeah.
a person in response, like who actually responsible for like research students and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so it usually you can check it from the website.
Okay, all right. And you have to decide a title, like with reference to whatever it is you want to research.
Definitely, and you also have to prepare a research plan. Because
Yeah.
I think it's like 2 pages at least.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of know not only the topic, but what exactly are you planning to do, and that's
Okay.
really important.
All right. Okay. So this is with reference to like general
Yeah.
ideas on
Yeah.
how they can actually get the scholarships, and then take us through like preparing your research plan. I know that it's a very important document that you have to put together with the other documents because they get to it's like something about yourself and what you really are
Yeah.
interested in. So what can students do when they're actually writing their research plans?
Yeah, well, I suggest first, like definitely after you pick the topic, I think at the beginning you have to explain at the beginning of your research proposal, you have to explain why this topic is interesting,
Yeah.
and also why it is important to do this research in Japan.
True.
Yeah, so because for some topics it's like definitely because for research plan I think you mostly get questions on each interview. I mean definitely they're going to be asked those 2 things, like why this topic and why do you think it has to be like the research has to be done in Japan?
Yes,
And
yes.
you should have to kind of like I don't know say
Defend
something
that.
about it. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's like the first part. You explain that, then you go into the topic itself, and also I think it's quite good to actually like write down. For example, in my case, like I study foreigner talk, so how like Japanese people talk with foreigners in Japanese, and it's not only like reading like papers and stuff. I also have to make my own experiment, so it's always good to add something like practical, so that you kind of already have ideas on how to do it. And I even went further. I even wrote down. Of course, you don't have to follow this thing later on. I mean, but like to be like precise. But I wrote like, for example, this month I'm planning to do this. because like you're supposed to be a research student for 1 year.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's always good, for example, to write like for these 3 months, for example, I'm reading like papers and stuff. For these 3 months, I don't know, I'm like talking to people and everything.
Yeah.
So when they see that you kind of have a clear view of what you're thinking to do, it always also kind of shows that you're serious about what you're doing.
Yes.
So I think that's important.
So it's important to actually come up with like a research plan, and with reference to timing, let them see exactly how you intend to work when you get to this university.
Yeah, and also you definitely at the end you want to have some reference. So so it's not that you just came up with some weird topic and just because otherwise it's just an essay. So you have to actually write at least like 5 books that you like quoted, and that would be also
and in order to quote those books, you have to have done some background research. You have to have
actually yes, that's also important. Please don't write like books that you haven't even like seen, because there is a high chance that someone maybe knows, or like you can be asked at the interview like, oh, what's like the main ideas of this author? You're like, I don't know, like I just like copied it from Wikipedia or something. Like that's not something you want to happen. So everything that you include, please make sure to read it. That's important. But that's like general.
Okay, and I know that the oral interview process it's nerve-wracking.
Yes.
And some students really get very anxious, and sometimes
like me. I was really nervous.
Yeah. Okay, but you were able to survive that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so as someone who actually went through this nerve-wracking experience, what can you advise students to watch out for when they prepare for this oral interview, or when they actually go there for the oral interview? What can they watch out for?
First, you definitely have to get some good sleep, and not like just physically have to feel like okay, because usually the interviews, I mean, it depends, but I think for my program they start like from 11 a.m. and it can be the whole day basically. I mean, not only you, but like there is at least I know like 10 more people, so it can be quite long. And the thing is that when you enter, there's like you, and usually it's like 5 people, not 1 person interviewing you. And it's very, very important not to get intimidated, because usually like for my program, like what happens is first you go through like exams, you have to take at least 2, and only after you pass that you go to the interview. So you have to remind yourself that you already were kind of chosen. They kind of think that there's something interesting in your research. So that's why you have to be confident in your research and in yourself in a way. But by confident, I don't mean that you have to show like the attitude, right? Just you have to calm down and understand that they want you here. And you just have to show what you got. So that's like mental kinda.
I think you really need to be prepared mentally.
But that's not the only type of preparation that you need to have. I also suggest definitely, like as I said, because you mostly will get questions about your research proposal, but also about the university that you've chosen. So like as I said, for example, I had 3, so I actually like looked up and I printed out the programs, and I got that question, like for example, in this university, so what is the program you're applying for? And you have to be able to explain it, because it's like if you haven't even checked that means that you're not serious about it. So it's always good to know, to have information obviously about your advisor, but also about the university, the program you're applying for, and the research proposal.
And most times the journey to getting a scholarship is not like a one take thing. Some students actually have to apply several times.
That's
about
true.
you. Did you get it the first time you applied?
Actually, I did get it the first time I applied, but I have friends who didn't, and it is totally normal. Like it depends, like on the number of participants this year, or maybe like there was something about your topic. Usually, like if like you couldn't make it the first time, the first step is to look at your research proposal and really think like maybe there's something missing. Because for the most part, it's something about the research proposal. Also, it's quite important, for example, if you're going for masters, so that the topic that you've chosen is kind of similar, at least the major that you had when you were at the bachelor's. So if it's also like you cannot, study, I don't know, social sciences and then be like, okay, I want to do physics. I mean, it's okay, but like to get a scholarship, it's always better for the topic to be as close as possible. And it's totally normal. Like not everyone gets it the first time, and I do have friends who went for the second time and they passed, and they're in Japan now. So it's okay.
So you shouldn't get worried, and you shouldn't get discouraged when you apply the first time and you're not chosen, because it happens to so many students. Some can get it the first time, some will not get it the first time, so it is okay.
As long as you get it.
As long
like
as
eventually,
you get it.
It doesn't really matter.
And as long as you keep trying, then
that's important.
It doesn't matter.
If you know that you want it, just keep going, like keep pushing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I also do videos about the fact that it is not all the time. Yeah, we talk about scholarships, but there are times when you will not get that scholarship because of maybe how competitive it is. But at the end of the day, there are still other ways that you can actually get to studying abroad, even if you don't have a scholarship. So make sure you check those videos where I interview students who really don't have scholarships but they succeed in studying abroad. So, and as I always tell you, if you can think it, you can really do it. It doesn't matter if you have a scholarship or you don't have a scholarship. Having a scholarship is a good thing, but if you don't have it, it is still possible. I do videos every Friday and Saturdays. Friday I bring awesome scholarship grantees like Olia to share with you their top tips on how you can get a scholarship. Saturdays I do light-hearted videos, so make sure you check all the videos. Remember to rate, like, comment, subscribe. And from Olia and I, bye bye.
Bye bye.